Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. Our supplies are going to be 2 of these garden hang baskets. They had these out around springtime and I bought a whole bunch of them knowing that this could be turned into a pumpkin. I was so excited to figure this out because I haven't really seen anybody do this. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use these to turn this into a pumpkin. It is the easiest DIY ever. You're going to just take off the wire chains and then you're going to line up the lines on the baskets, and then with some zip ties from the Dollar Tree you're just going to zip tie every single joint where the bars line up. Then you're going to take your scissors and you are going to snip off the rest of the zip tie, and make sure you take the part that has that little square on the end where it fastens all together, twist that inward so you don't see it sticking out. Once you've got that done, go ahead and take a jar lid that they have at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just use some E6000 so that this stays together nice and tight, because this is going to become the top of our little pumpkin, so we can go ahead and add a stem to it and decorate it however you would like, honestly. Then you're going to take some hot glue on the inside and just glue that in place. Now this tool, I'm going to be showing it a little bit later on. I've showed it here before on my channel. It's called a Crop-A-Dile. It's used for scrapbooking and fastening on eyelets. I love this tool, but you can see that I used it because it's able to punch through metal like nothing. I mean, it is like using a hole puncher going through paper. So I went ahead and punched 2 holes so I could take some more zip ties and then fasten that to the top without having to worry about it coming off later. Then I took it outside and spray painted a really pretty fun orange color. You could do this whatever color you want for your pumpkin. And then I'm going to scrape off a little bit of the paint at the top because I want to make sure that it bonds well to the actual metal versus the paint. Over time that can peel away and break off really easy. So then I'm going to take one of these little wood stumps that they sell at the Dollar Tree in their floral section, glue that on, and then I'm going to take some of this greenery and staple it to the backside of that little log. And I did that because I didn't want to worry about these falling off over time, and stapling it on there is going to hold everything together nice and tight. I added some more hot glue, and then I'm coming in with this bead garland that you all know that I love here. You're going to see this a lot throughout this video because I think it's so cute when it's coiled and it makes it look like a pumpkin vine, all curly and cute. Then once all that was in place, I added a bow and you are ready to decorate your home. Now, if you didn't know, today is the Dollar Tree DIY challenge. I'm going to link the playlist down below to all the other girls playing along today. And the next DIY challenge is going to be on October 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The theme is Thanksgiving or fall. This next DIY, I found it from inspiration when I was scrolling through some Magnolia home decor items. I saw this really cute crate that was a really dark coal color, and it said Magnolia across the front. It was in black letters, but you're going to see I'm going to do white letters to make it stand out even more. I know all of us love the Magnolia home decor, and I wanted to show you all how you could get that look so affordable for your home that you do not have to spend a ton of money. So here I am simply taking 2 packs of these thicker tongue depressor sticks that you can get in the craft section at the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna take 6 for one side, as you see there, 6 for the other side. I cut off the rounded parts, and then I'm gonna take 1 more stick, cut it down to size, and add that on the front and the back. Now you can see here that I've repeated that process 3 times because this is going to be the 2 long walls of the box, and then this last one is going to be the bottom, so I'm actually going to add some more supports on the bottom of that so it's really strong. If you have any hangovers, just go ahead and snip those off with your scissors. Once you've got that done, you're going to work on the sides of the box where it's the shorter part, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut down 6 of them to the desired size we want, put a stick on the back to support them all, and once you've got 2 of those, you can start assembling the box. Again, this is so easy, and it only cost me about $1.05 because I didn't really even use the second pack. I only had a couple that I needed to pull from it. So now we're going to go ahead and start assembling the sides. You're going to add glue on those 3 parts for the bottom, just like you saw, and you're going to hold it in place. And right now it looks a little flimsy, like it's going to break, but by the time we're done with this thing, it's going to be super strong and sturdy. Now you're going to take some more glue, and you're going to simply go in to the crevices of the inside of the box, add some more glue, put down some more popsicle sticks to really strengthen it, add some more glue. I was really generous with the glue on the inside. Then at this point, we're going to go ahead and add on the sides of the box, or I guess the insides of the box. I don't know what you would call that, but you can see here the smaller part. And I'm going to just hold that all into place, gluing everything, and then creating once again the supports on the inside. Now the outside does not look polished, and this is where it really starts to come together. We're going to take some more of those sticks. We're going to cut them down to size, and we're going to frame it out. I think framing it out is where it really makes it look high end, like you bought it from the store or you picked it up from Magnolia, and you probably paid a ton of money for it because we love that look so much. So here I am, I'm just framing it all out, cutting everything down to size, adding in glue where I need to, and at this point it really starts to come together and looks like an actual crate that you could pick up and purchase at the store. So once you've got everything framed out and it's nice and sturdy and strong and everything is dry, you're then going to go ahead and move on to painting it. Now, like I said, I was going off of the inspiration that I saw from Magnolia, so I went with a really dark slate coal kind of color. I basically took black and added in some white until I got the color that I wanted, and I just generously painted it all over, making sure I got everything. Now, I didn't have white letters and I wanted to keep this all Dollar Tree products, so I took the word Magnolia, put it on a piece of paper, painted them white, and added them to the front of my box. Once that was on there, I wanted to make sure they stayed, so I went ahead and Mod Podged the whole box, making sure it was nice and sealed, and now I can display it for fall. I hope that you are enjoying this video today and all of these new DIYs that I've put together for you. Now, if you haven't heard, over on Instagram, I host a weekly challenge where you can share projects that you've made with your Dollar Tree supplies. It's called the Dollar Tree DIY Tour. I co-host it with my friend Shayna. It's really easy to do. You simply create a post with an image, and then you use a certain hashtag. If you're interested, come on over and find me underneath my name, Heidi Samble. I'll give you all the rules to play along, but it's really fun, and it's such a great way to connect with other crafters and share your beautiful things on the internet. This next project is super simple and easy to accomplish. We're going to take this cutting board that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree for just $1. We're going to spray paint it orange or whatever color you want. Now, I will recommend that when you spray paint it, it will want to peel off. So I ended up Mod Podging the whole thing once I got my vinyl stickers on. I went ahead and cut these out on the Cricut, and then I just stuck them on because they were so big. I didn't need to use the transfer tape. Plus, I didn't want to pull up any more of that paint. Once I had those on, I went ahead and Mod Podged the whole thing, and now I'm going to decorate the top and really bring it to life. I'm going to use some of this really beautiful ribbon they have at the Dollar Tree right now, and I'm just going to twist it around on the top like a scarf, and then I'm going to add on a bow that I assembled, not the traditional way. I'll link my bow video at the end of this video if you're interested, and down below, because I have a very specific way that I do bows. I always like the tails to look really pretty and polished. Then I'm going to add on some greenery to really finish the look, and once it was all done, you can display it anywhere in your home or even in your kitchen. It's so adorable. I took this silver tray from the Dollar Tree and I knew that I could turn it into something really special. I saw this really pretty inspiration on Pinterest where someone took a really large silver tray and they put it on their front door, and I wanted to make a smaller version with this. I thought, how cute could this be sitting in like a butler's pantry or right at your entryway? So I used some paint. You could use chalk paint if you want to erase it and do it again later on for a different saying on it, but I decided to just use black paint, and then I went and sketched on what I wanted it to say, and now I'm going to hand paint on "Welcome to our home." It's kind of funny because, friends, I am a hard critic with my handwriting, and I know so many of you leave so many wonderful comments about how you love my handwriting, but when I was doing the word welcome, I did the W way too big, and it kind of caused the E to look crunched. Once I say it out loud, I think you're all going to notice it, but I hear you all the time saying that you don't have beautiful handwriting. The truth is, it just takes playing with it and practicing, and I just think it's just a form of art that is so lost. And I used to practice my handwriting all the time when I was a kid. My mom had the most beautiful calligraphy handwriting, and I just loved it. All right, here I am using the Crop-A-Dile tool. I'm going to link it down below if you're interested in it. This is one of my all-time favorite tools because it punches through metal without any issues at all. I mean, it doesn't even hurt your hand to use this thing. There's something about the spring mechanics of this tool that allows it to just punch through everything. It is the coolest thing, and like I said earlier, it can work for eyelets and anything else that you would want to use to punch a hole in, or even belts. My husband, sometimes if he has a belt that he wants to, take in a notch or whatever, you can even punch through leather. It's so crazy how well this tool works. Okay, I punched those holes for a reason, because I wanted to take some of the Dollar Tree bead garland that I love so much. I love when it comes out this time of year, and I'm just twisting it and coiling it all around the edges of the silver tray, because I want it to look like it's a vine that is growing on it for the fall season. I just think that this is so cute, and you can decorate it however you want. You can add on whatever colors you want. You can go as elaborate or as simple as you would like. And then you just keep playing with it until you get it to a place that you would like. If you love working with florals, this is a really fun DIY to try out and to display somewhere in your home. You could even put your family's name and really just customize it however you would like. Once you've got everything all situated on there, I went ahead and also added a little pumpkin, some berries, and then I decided to add on one more bow. I love this ribbon. I picked it up from Joann's a long time ago, and I just love that it's a cream with a green. And then when you're all done, go ahead and display in your home. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Heidi Sambol. I would love it if you click the subscribe button, join me here on my channel, and to everyone else who has clicked the subscribe button and stuck around, thank you so much for being my friend. I truly do love sharing these videos and my crafts and my ideas with all of you, and getting to know all of you in the comments below. Thanks so much for being a friend. If you have been doing Dollar Tree DIYs for a while, I'm sure you have seen these glass candle stem holders. But I had an idea that I wanted to replicate a look that I saw that was on Pottery Barn. It was crazy expensive, and I thought, man, I could totally make that for so much cheaper or more affordable. I always like to say affordable instead of cheap, because I don't like to be cheap. I just like to have nice things that I'm not paying an arm and a leg for. So I'm going to do the same old trick, add that E6000 and the glue, the hot glue for the long-term, short-term hold, put those together, and then I'm going to take this round metal tray that you can put on your oven to cover your burners. I think it's called a burner cover, and I'm going to use some painter's tape to create a template, because I don't want to spray paint this part. I like to make sure that whenever I'm using E6000 that it really does bond to the original surface and not a painted surface that can cause things to pull away over time. So I'm just going ahead, tracing it, cutting it out, and then I'm going to take it outside. I spray painted the tray a really pretty dark gray color, and then I spray painted the glass, making sure the bottom didn't get any spray paint on that glass, with white. because I want to make sure that the glass is bonding to the metal and it's all stuck together really nice and strong. So once I've got all of my E6000 and hot glue in place, I'm going to go ahead and just put that right on the spot where I preserved it without it having any paint on it. Once I got that done and I let that dry, I went ahead and added in some more gray to create a very farmhouse, pretty look on this metal where it makes it look like metal. And then I'm going to go back in with some brown paint and just add in a little bit of rust. You don't have to do this part if this is not for you. You don't even have to do the distressing on the dark gray. You can even spray paint the whole thing white if you like that look too, but I really did love adding in some of the rusted look because, like I said, these type of pedestals are so expensive. Then once you're all done painting and getting it distressed, I got some of these candles from Costco. They're always on sale this time of year. I added a wreath ring in the middle, added a candle, and it's ready to go. Now this next DIY, I'm going to be using 4 of these cute signs from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to pop off the Happy Fall and the Welcome, and I'm going to use them to create a large circle. Now I have been seeing these large clocks that are, you know, taken apart where like you don't have the gears and the hands on them, and people have been using them to stack and layer on their mantles. Listen, friends, those things are so expensive once again, where I know that we could do it so much more affordable and make it where it's high quality, not just using foam core, but actually using a nice sturdy thick surface like we're doing here. So I took off those Welcome and Happy Fall curved parts, and you can see here that on the back side I used some hot glue, some painter sticks, and I'm just creating it strong enough so I can flip it over and to be able to grid out my circle. So you can see here I used a pencil and a piece of twine, and I'm just holding it right in the center with the other part tied to my pencil and going all the way around in a circle. Now at this point, I don't know if you know this about these particle boards, these decor signs from the Dollar Tree. They snap really easy, so when you score it with your craft knife and you get an edge that you can push on to get that leverage, it will just snap off without any problems. And it is just so stinking cool that you can take these and turn these into a whole different shape. Now you're going to see that it's shifting and moving around the different pieces because it's not fully secured on the backside yet, because I didn't want to run into a painter stick if I had glued too far over on the sides. So you can see here now I'm going to go back in and add in some more supports and really just make sure it's nice and strong and all sturdy on the back side. Now I will definitely recommend painting the front and the back, but before we do that, first we're going to go ahead and take our scissors and we're going to just trim off any rough edges around to make a complete and perfect circle. And then go back in with moving it just to make sure that you don't have any more loose corners or edges. You want to make sure it's really secured down so that when you're moving it around, it's high quality versus it being, you know, a craft that we did in our craft room. So once you've got your circle all complete, everything's nice and sturdy, go ahead and take your white paint. Now, I don't know if you ever watch me when I'm trying to get my paint out, because friends, I use it down to the very last squish of a bottle. I am so determined to get every single drop. So you will always see me in sped up motion where I'm trying to tap out the paint. So I eventually finished one bottle of paint and moved on to a brand new one. It's always so fun to bust open a new bottle of paint. Now at this point, once everything's all painted white on the back and the front, I'm going to go ahead and go in with a kind of a medium gray, and I'm going to create some shiplap lines, and then I'm going to go back in and dry brush on very, very little of that same color just to create some depth and some texture to make it look like farmhouse shiplap distressed look. You know, that look that we all love so much if you love farmhouse like I do. Now you're going to take some of these Dollar Tree stickers, and I decided instead of going with a very bold black. I wanted to soften them a little bit, so I went with more of a slate gray. So I'm going to just paint these numbers with my paint to create that look that I want. And then once that was dry, they peel off really easy, and I started just like this. I did the 12, 6, 3, 9, and then I filled in the other numbers, making sure everything was spaced out so I wasn't struggling with trying to space things properly and having things not fit, because that would just not be fun if it didn't work out and you did all that work. Now I wanted to show you an option. If you really do want the hands, you can use some skewer or shish kebab sticks and you can paint them black just like this and glue them on, but I have decided, like I said, I just want it to be just the numbers. For our next DIY, we're going to be taking this wood sign that they have at the Dollar Tree. Now, I think it's cute as it is if you want to use it in like a teen's room, but I wanted to use mine for Halloween time. And friends, I do not like ghouly, creepy Halloween stuff. I like things to be more whimsical. My birthday is actually on Halloween, and I love Halloween, and I do decorate for Halloween, but I go very retro, whimsical looking. I like a lot of black, white, and orange, and I just love pumpkins and little kitties and cute witches with sweet faces. I don't know. Once I had it all black, I'm going to take some of my cutout vinyl from my Cricut that I cut out, and I'm just going to place those right on, and then you're set to put it out in your home and decorate with. If you are enjoying this video and you haven't yet, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really means so much to me. It actually helps out my video. It's a way to give back if you're enjoying it and you want to connect with me on a one-on-one friend level. Giving a video a thumbs up helps the algorithm see the video and that people are enjoying it, and then they recommend it to other people. So thank you so much for giving my videos thumbs up, and if you haven't, please do click that little thumb. Our next DIY are going to be using these wood squares or wood blocks that you can get from the Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree. I took some really pretty, I know it's going to sound weird, but buttery orange, or I guess sherbety orange. I wanted it to be a really pretty creamy look to it. I don't know why I'm going with creamy in this word, but that's what we're going to roll with. And then I'm going to just put on one coat of paint. I wanted to make sure that the wood grain was still showing through. I loved the idea of that still popping through. Once those were dry, I'm going to take some of these little logs that you can get in the floral section at the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to simply glue them right to the top of these cute little squares that we just created that are orange. We're making little square pumpkins, and these are so easy to make. These would be the cutest thing to give to someone for a gift if they love fall season, or you just want to make them for your own home. And it can be so cute because you can even put a picture on it or little pumpkin faces, however you want to decorate these. Now I'm going to take some of these garland beaded wires that, again, I told you I was going to use them a lot in this video because I love them so much. I think they just work so well on pumpkins. I'm going to coil that around, glue it in place, and they're ready to be used. For this DIY, I'm going to be taking some of these stacking blocks from the kids section at the Dollar Tree, and then these wooden pumpkins that there are 5 in a pack, and we're only going to be needing 4 of them because we're going to be using them to spell out the word fall. What we're going to do next is we're going to take some of their putty that they have at the Dollar Tree, and we're going to fill in those holes. And then we're going to take these stacking blocks and we are going to line them all up. Now you're going to need 12 2 rows of 12. So you're going to need 24 of them. And you can use the light one and the dark ones because that's how they come in the box. I just happen to have a lot of these dark brown ones. But what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of glue. I flatten it on the table and then flatten it on its side to make sure it's nice and straight as possible. Now, after doing this, I realized that you could do, instead of 12 long, you could do 11 long. It won't be as much hangover. You'll see at the end what I'm talking about. But if you like the way that I did it, you can stick with doing the 12 stacking blocks like I did. Okay, now once those are glued together, we're going to go ahead and take these long painter sticks. They're a little bit thicker than the normal smaller ones where there's 10 in a pack. This one comes 3 in a pack for $1 at your home improvement stores. I get mine from Home Depot. And then I'm going to take my miter box and I'm going to cut it down to size because one is not long enough to reach the full length of the 12. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that down to what I need with my miter box. I'll link this down below if you're interested in this tool. I love it. I use it here all the time on my channel. And then I'm going to glue the 2 ends together to make sure it's the right length for the whole thing. Now, it was kind of hard to get this whole thing in the shot, so I do apologize that it's not fully all the way in it, but you're going to go ahead and glue those down on it, and then you're going to make sure your pumpkin can fit inside without it having any issues or being too tight. And it's so amazing because it was like meant to all fit together, where it was the right size for the stacking blocks and the painter stick, and then the pumpkin to fit in the middle. So once you have everything all glued together, go ahead and pick your paint color that you would like. Now I'm going to do a couple different tints of painting. I couldn't decide on where I wanted to land. First I thought I would do a dark slate color, and then I thought, that's too dark. And then you'll see in a little bit I'm going to actually end up lightening it. I just kept playing with it. So while that black paint was drying, I'm going to go ahead and sand off the extra that was coming out of those little holes to fill them, and I'm going to paint all of my pumpkins white on both sides. And then here I am, I'm going back in with a lighter. I decided to go, let me let some of that black pop through, and I'm going to put on some of this brownish gray color that I put together. And that still even ended up not being what I wanted, so you're going to see me paint it one more time. This is just the creative process. I know you all get it if you're a crafter like I am. We just keep playing with it until we get it the way we love it. So I wanted, again, to get a lighter gray color, so I'm going to just paint the letters F-A-L-L for fall, and once those are all dry, I can add them to my pumpkins, and you'll see me do that in a minute. Now here I am, I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue and put in my pumpkins, and I didn't put them flat, like all the way in and just flat to the bottom. I had some kind of twisted a little bit to the side because I thought that was cute and it added a little more personality to the pumpkins. And then here my letters are, they're dry, and I'm going to go ahead and stick those right on. Now I did cover the pumpkin and the letters with Mod Podge because I wanted to make sure they stayed on there. Once it was all dry, I went ahead and took some of my grass skirt that was left over from the summertime. I love that because it's really long strands. If you had any of those grass tree skirts from the Dollar Tree, they're so great to tie bows with. And then I went ahead and added those on, and here I am once again adding color to the base. It was at this point when I finally fell in love with it. It had this very natural fall look. By the way, if you look at my hand, you can see a massive blister. I burnt myself while making some of these DIYs, and it really hurt. For this DIY, we're going to be using this super popular sign that is going on over at the Dollar Tree. Everybody's been snatching and picking these up and using them in their crafts and videos. I have so many friends that have been making beautiful things with them, and I wanted to take my try at it. You could leave it as is because it's really cute, but I wanted it to be more neutral, and I had a really cute quote that I wanted to use on it. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the back side with a piece of felt so that it just cleans up the back side and the look of it. And then I'm going to add some white paint all over on this side that was raw and ready to be painted, and making sure to paint on the sides as well to really clean up the look. And then I used my Cricut, and I'm just transferring on what I cut out with it. And I will say that this particular font, it kept wanting to pull up, and so I was just really taking my time. I love this font. I thought it was so pretty, and I wanted to just, you know, take my time and transfer it on. And then once I had that all stuck down, I ended up making sure I Mod Podged everything. I know you guys are gonna think I'm a spaz, but I always Mod Podge everything because I just love things to be sealed and on there without anything falling off or getting bumped or messed up over time. Plus, I also think it keeps it where you can like wipe it and clean it really easy if you want to, if you display it and it gets dusty. Anyway, that's just me. But I thought this quote was so cute. You are the pumpkin to my spice. I just thought that was so sweet. So I'm going to take some of these curved leaves and I'm going to just circle around them. I thought that this would look really high-end and beautiful. Once I went all the way around, I took some greenery and I'm going to use it on both sides. I really liked that it was nice and full, and I wanted it to kind of hang a little bit. And I'm going to take my staple gun and I'm going to just staple those right in place because I'm not always the biggest believer in hot glue, friends. I know. Gasp. But really, it comes off sometimes, and so I like to use my staple gun when I can, and it's thick enough to puncture into it to make sure it's nice and sturdy. Then I added a pumpkin, some more of those curlicue wires, and we're ready to put it out for our decor. I hope you enjoyed this video and these 10 new DIYs. Make sure to check out the playlist that is linked down below for everyone doing their Halloween fall decor. Thank you so much for stopping by. Leave a comment and let me know which was your favorite. My personal favorite was the basket wire pumpkin. Thanks so much for stopping by and visiting me today, and until the next episode, bye friends.